Welcome back to AM Northwest. Our next guest has made saving the cheetah her life's mission. Here to share more about how work is helping the world's fastest land animal, we welcome the founder and executive director of the Cheetah Conservation Fund, Dr. Laurie Marker. Good to have you with us, Doc.
Thank you.
Okay, tell me about why it became your life's mission.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be, but
Yeah.
I was down at the wildlife safari. And
You had moved to Roseburg from
California, came up actually to help start the wine industry here in Oregon back in the 70s. And my background was with animals. Got a job at the wildlife safari, and the cheetahs were under my care, and I was fascinated with them. Back then, nobody really knew anything about cheetahs.
No.
But as we found out, they didn't breed well in captivity. They didn't have a very long lifespan. We were losing them in the wild, and that's what I learned all about.
Why were they not able to breed well in captivity?
A lot of it had to do with behavior and how they were living. And from the safari, we actually developed the most successful breeding program in all of North America.
Wow.
But by giving them large areas to live within, and then learning much more about how the cheetah does live. And much of that work now has come back to the work that I've done over in Africa.
So tell me about that. So you, after starting a conservation effort in Roseburg at the Wildlife Safari, then you moved to Namibia.
Namibia. Well, I went via the Washington, D.C. and the Smithsonian, where much of our research was also looking at the genetic makeup of the cheetahs, the reproductive problems. But then from that, in Namibia, I set up the foundation, the Cheetah Conservation Fund, at Namibia's independence, which was 1990, and then moved there and set up our center. And so these are some of the pictures of working on some of the cheetahs. But so many of the cheetahs are caught and killed because of human-wildlife conflict. Farmers see them, they think that they're catching their livestock. So we then started working very closely with the farming community to figure out how the cheetah was living.
Yeah, because you can't just walk into somebody's neighborhood and say this isn't working. You have no right to do that. But you saw that there was a problem and you helped them solve the solution where both sides were happy.
Exactly. And actually some of those solutions came from my living here in Oregon as well. I mean, we work directly with farmers. I came from a farming background, and we use things like livestock guarding dogs to protect the livestock, the small calves, the goats and sheep. We use a dog that is a Anatolian Shepherd or a Kangal dog. They're big, and then they protect the livestock, and from that, farmers don't have to kill the cheetahs or other predators. And we see between an 80 to 100% decline of livestock loss by using the dogs. But then we overlay it also with our Future Farmer of Africa program and our school programs where we go into schools. So it's been quite a big process. But working directly with the farmers, you'd call them ranchers here, is really the critical thing.
Did you meet any resistance?
Well, I'd been there again in the 70s, and so people knew me. Like here in Oregon, a lot of people remember because I traveled with Khayyam, the cheetah, for
You were on our show years ago with two cheetahs.
Lots, would come regularly up here. And so I think there's been a lot of awareness in Namibia. And now over the years, we've got a very large research center, we've got a genetics lab, a veterinary clinic, a wildlife park, a model farm, working directly on the land with the people on whose land the cheetah lives. But the cheetah is unique because they don't live in protected areas. Most of them are outside of protected areas, which is why we work with the ranchers and the farmers so closely.
So what is the biggest problem you're seeing now? Because there are only how many cheetahs?
Only 7,000 cheetahs in the world today. Namibia, which is where we live, is called the cheetah capital of the world. We have about 1,000, or about a fifth of the world's population right there with us. And then up in East Africa, Kenya and Tanzania is very important. We also work out of the Horn of Africa. So there's illegal wildlife pet trade going on from the Horn of Africa, where cubs are stolen from the wild and then sent into the Middle East as pets illegally. It's all illegal. And for the last about 6 years, we've had to develop a whole sanctuary there in Somaliland, which is a breakaway of Somalia. It's a different country. And there we've got 97 cheetahs that have been caught from the illegal wildlife pet trade. So it's horrific to try to stop that trade.
Do you find, in talking about that trade, do you find that the people, once those cubs have grown up, realize they can't handle this?
Well, most of them,
and that's where you have to go in and save them?
Right. Well, no, they come in as cubs.
Okay.
So they're pulled out of the bush. People find them. By the time they get if they get confiscated, because now we've developed a whole network throughout the Ethiopia, Somaliland area, but they're tiny cubs and they come in as starved animals, pretty much nutritionally challenged. We've lost, probably when we started 60%, now we're way under 20% because we've got veterinarians there, animal care. But if they make it into the Middle East, so everyone that makes it to the Middle East, 4 die getting there.
Oh.
And if it makes it there, they only have a lifespan of maybe a year or 2 because they don't know how to take care of them.
Yeah.
And then they like them and they want to go get more.
Yeah.
So we're working very actively now also in the supply, the demand side, over in the Middle East to try to say, please, let's keep these animals living free and in the wild.
Yeah, where they should be.
Where they should be,
Did you reintroduce cheetahs in India?
We did.
Tell me about that.
Well, that was now, we're celebrating our 2nd year anniversary, but the cheetahs in India had been extinct for 70 years.
Wow.
And about 20 countries where the cheetah lived up to 100 years ago, the cheetah has gone extinct.
Yeah.
We've lost over 90% of its habitat. But India wanted to have its cheetahs back, and we started working with them back around 2009, developing programs, looking for the right reserves. And Namibia and India have a very close relationship, and so India asked Namibia to assist, and Namibia, since we're the research center there, asked us to assist.
Yeah.
And so I had staff in India for the first full year, and we've had 5 litters of cubs born over there. So it's been an interesting, very interesting process.
How can our viewers help you?
Well, to know more about the cheetah and be
Okay.
aware that cheetahs are Africa's most endangered species. And with that, to try to get involved. Not only is Oregon really famous for our cheetahs from the Wildlife Safari,
Right.
and the Oregon Zoo has cheetahs, but with that, to try to look at our website, cheetah.org. We get a lot of interns from University of Oregon system, the university system, so we've connected with the universities. We take volunteers, we take visitors to come and visit.
Love it.
So
we're
come on
gonna,
over.
We're going to put a link on our website,
Great.
yours. Thank you so much, and thank you for the work you do, too.
Thank you. Cheetahs are great.
Cheetahs are beautiful, too. Thank
Great.
you. All right, we'll
Thank
be
you.
right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.